Hello, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, whatever it is with you. Today on this live, we are talking about why, if you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't be focused on weight loss, but what you should be focused on instead. So we're going to dive right into this. And as I say, as is normal on these lives, if you've got any questions, bang them in the chat. We're going live in several different places, so you may not be able to see all the questions coming from everywhere. But feel free to jump in. Let me just get rid of that starting soon. There we go. We have started. We are live. Awesome. Okay, so bring the chat up. Okay, so we're going to dive straight into this. So if you've got questions, ask them as we go through. Why you shouldn't be focused on weight loss if you're trying to lose weight. Sounds very counterintuitive, but let me break it down. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Now, most conventional diets focus only on calories. You know, calories in, calories out, super simple. If you eat less calories than you burn, you will lose weight. And it's true, it works. It works in a lab environment, especially. If you can put someone in a room, in a controlled environment with a treadmill where you can control exactly how many calories they burn and how many calories they take in, this is a very, very effective way of controlling somebody's weight. There's no doubt about it. That works. However, the problem comes in the real world. Why? Because calories are a part of weight loss, but they're actually a fairly small part, and more we're kind of seeing they're actually a fairly unimportant part. It shows a lack of systems thinking. There's a huge amount of other things that we should be we could be looking at the same time. There's an awful lot of other systems that feed into why you gain or lose weight than just calories. Calories is one pillar. Take the endocrine system, for example. If your sex hormones are out of whack, then it's going to be very, very difficult to lose weight. Your adrenal system, if you're constantly stressed, it's going to be very, very difficult to lose weight. Calorie counting does work. I'm not denying that, but it's often hard. You have to literally starve yourself, often for months on end. It often leads to yo-yo highs and lows. You lose all the weight, and then within 2 months, when you go back to eating normally, you pile it all on again. I'll explain why that is in just a moment. It isn't healthy. It often leaves you feeling weak, feeling wiped out, aching joints, poor skin, low energy, low libido, poor sleep, itchy eyes, and all sorts of kind of weird and wonderful side effects, most of which aren't very pleasant, which is a result of this calorie-controlled diet. Okay, Dave asks, why isn't it healthy? Good question. Great question, Dave. Okay, why isn't a calorie-controlled diet healthy? Well, it's not necessarily unhealthy. But let's take my example of my mum, who's kind of been my inspiration for all this, because she spent 20 years trying to losing 50 pounds and then piling it back on again. She went through that about 7 times before we actually finally cracked it. But she was doing, at one point, she was doing the Slimming World diet. And this is kind of a points-based calorie counting diet. And one of the foods that was on their list of approved foods is Diet Coke. Diet Coke is low in calories. You can have as much of this as you want. So people were going out and just drinking Diet Coke literally all day like it was water. Now, Diet Coke is not healthy. There's in no world is Diet Coke healthy. The saccharine in it, the crap that's in it is literally poison for your body, literally, especially if it gets heated up. So it's sat in a warehouse, a hot warehouse. It is literally poison. And yet these people drink as much as they can. Yeah, they're lowering their calorific intake, but they're buggering everything else up. Their hormones are going out of whack, insulin response is going through the roof, all these other things which also control weight. So it's focusing on a very, very small part of the bigger picture. And she went through these diets. She felt awful. She felt wiped out. She was grumpy, and I know that. And she'd admit to that now if she was on here for the whole time she was on it. And then she'd stop. She'd hit a target weight. She'd stop, and within a month, she'd put it all back on with interest. So that's the one reason why it may not be healthy, just because some of the foods you're eating aren't optimal. It's not focused on health, it's focused on weight loss. And this is the key point I'm trying to make. Most of these diets will focus on just the calorific intake, the actual amount of calories you're taking, not is it making me healthy? Because if you think about it, if you were making your body healthy, you would be balancing your endocrine system, you would be balancing your adrenal system. All these other systems which feed into it, you would be balancing them out naturally, and that would naturally lead to weight loss, as we'll see later on. But again, to go back into your question, Dave, why isn't it healthy? Well, first of all, by reducing the amount of calories you are taking, what you are doing is you're literally telling the body, right, we are living in a time when there's very little food available. So we need to make sure that we optimize, and not immediately, but over a period of time. Most of these diets do last for months. Your body makes adaptations to that. So what does it do? Well, the major problem that this causes, it lowers your metabolic rate. So let's say as a human average male, between 30 and 40, you eat normally at 2,500 calories a day, just to live, just to get by, just to get through the day. That's how many calories you need, your base metabolic rate. You start restricting calories, your body goes, oh, Jesus, there's an ice age coming. There's not going to be much food around. So what we'd better do is lower our metabolic rate. So it lowers it to, say, 2,300 calories a day. So you now need less calories just to live. So when you come out of your diet at the end, after 4 months on this diet, when your metabolic rate's now lowered, you start eating normally again, and you've got a calorie excess of 200 calories a day just naturally, just from even if you were eating what is right for your age. Now, restarting your metabolism, it's possible, but it's quite difficult. It also has effects on other hormones. It raises cortisol because, again, your body thinks it's starving. So, my God, we need to get some food. So it raises cortisol, raises adrenaline. Well, cortisol raises blood sugar, which releases insulin. Now, insulin tells your body to store fat. So if you're going into a place, and this is why when you're stressed, if your adrenal system's out of whack, it's very difficult to lose weight because your body's constantly releasing cortisol, which is downstream telling the body to store fat. And there's a good reason for this, because fat is a very good defense mechanism for the body. We want a bit of fat if we're heading into a period of danger because it's extra energy. It's extra protection as well, because, it means we've got this subcutaneous layer before the organs start getting damaged. So fat is a defensive mechanism as well. When you raise stress, your body naturally wants to store fat. So if you're doing a diet which is naturally causing stress, you're getting the double whammy. You're getting hit at both ends. So this is why, again, calorie counting could be part of a diet, but it's only a part of the diet. Again, so what would I focus on rather than weight loss? I would focus on health. As we've said, if you're trying to lose weight and you're stressed, good luck. Now, just that fact of counting calories, that restriction, that I can't have anything, I can't have this, that sense of loss, that causes stress. So you're instantly raising your stress. And let's talk about stress. There's the insulin response. There's insulin response, which instantly tells your body to store fat. Cortisol raises blood sugar. That causes insulin to be released, which tells the body to store fat. But let's look at it from a different point of view. Okay. You also have two types of, you've got several types of fat, but the two we're interested in is structural versus inflammatory fat. Now, structural fat is the fat that kind of gives your body shape. It fills out your cheeks. It gives your body the shape that it's supposed to have. It sits in between the joints, keeps them lubricated, things like that. You've also got inflammatory fat. Inflammatory fat is your muffin top. It's that, the spare tire, the fat that we don't want. Inflammatory fat is the fat we want to get rid of. When you are stressed, your body puts a lock on inflammatory fat. It says, we're not going to burn that. We need that as part of our defense mechanism. We need that for energy. We need that for storage of toxins, which we'll talk about in a minute. We need that. So we hold on to that, and it starts to burn structural fat. And this is why, if you go to the gym, I bet there's someone at your gym who works out 24/7, causing stress on the body because they're overtraining. They look like Skeletor, so they've kind of got that pinched look about them, but they've still got a spare tire. They've still got it. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing everything right. I'm exercising all the time. I'm eating healthy, and I still cannot shift it. And it's because they've stressed themselves out. Exercise generally when it's someone at the gym, and this is why I say it's because there's always that person who's always there every single time you go. And that's putting the body under so much stress that they've locked down that inflammatory fat and they just cannot get rid of it. So again, if you're trying to lose weight and you're stressed, good luck. And I would prefer a diet that didn't cause me stress. It was actually an enjoyable diet. And then it balanced my stress, my adrenal system, and at the same time, my endocrine system and all the others. So I felt great while I was doing it. So again, I would focus on health rather than weight loss, because when you become healthy, your body sheds weight. Now, why does it do that? Because if your body is healthy, as I say, if it's unhealthy, it will hold on to that inflammatory fat. We need this. We need this because we're heading into an ice age. We need this for protection. We need this because fat stores all the toxins we've got rushing around. If you're healthy, if you're getting a good diet, if you're getting all the nutrients you need, if you're living in a land of plenty, your body with no threats and no stress, your body goes, we don't need this. We don't need this fat. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. We don't need it. We can always bring it back if we need to, if we get into a stressful situation later. But for the moment, let's just ditch it. We don't need it. So again, focus on health, not on weight loss. So just got a few questions here. Carly, what should I focus on? Yeah, I think I've just answered that. We should be focusing on health. Health is the key. If you are healthy, you will be slim. You will be not skinny, but you will be at a great weight. You might not be your perfect weight, but if your body was 100% absolutely functioning, 100% healthy, I guarantee you would not be overweight. I guarantee it. Your body. If you just focus on weight loss, you might be skinny as hell, but you might feel like crap every single day. You might feel awful, and you've probably got an awful lot going on under the hood, i.e. hormone imbalances, sleep problems, your hair's falling out, your skin looks awful, you look 10 years older than you actually are. All these which you're just swapping one problem for another. Like, great, now I've got to do a diet which focuses on skin, or which focuses on eyesight, or which focuses on insomnia. And now I've got this other problem that I've just brought up. Whereas if we just focus on health, focus on the entire system, everything drops into line, and your body is designed to work perfectly when it's healthy. So we focus on health. Now, how do we do that? What are the markers you should be looking for? Because obviously calories is easy. Calories are really, really easy one to follow because it's just calories in that food and translate it directly to your base metabolic rate. How much should I be eating a day? Well, I'm not going to go into this today because what I've done is I've put together a 3-day challenge. The link is here. If I can point to it, this from tantrumx.com/2040. Head over there, sign up. It's free. It's 3 days. It's like 15 minutes a day. And it tells you exactly what you should be measuring for health. It's really, really important that measuring is the most important part of this, because if you don't know if what you're doing is working, you're not going to get anywhere, or you probably go backwards. We might go sideways. So what we need to do is focus on these specific markers, which is really, really easy. None of them, it's not fancy testing or anything like that. It's all stuff that's free to do, but this just goes into a bit more depth in what you should be tracking to make sure you are progressing towards optimal health. Okay, we all know what to measure with weight loss. It's dead easy. That's simple, but health is a bit more tricky. Health is a bit more difficult, or it's not, but it's got this kind of black magic idea around it. It's not no dark priests involved in it. It's dead easy, but this will tell you exactly what you should be measuring and give you tools to measure it. So go over there, have a look at that. Download it. It's free. It's free. You can do whatever you want. So we talked about something else I want to cover here very quickly is toxins, fat and toxins. Now, most people think fat is for storing energy. Really lost my own way there. Fat is for storing energy. Fat is not, the primary purpose of fat is not to store energy, believe it or not. The primary purpose of fat is to store toxins. Why? What on earth are you talking about, Sam? That sounds weird. Well, what happens is your liver obviously is the primary organ that is designed to or turn toxins into something useful to the body. But, you know, modern lifestyle being what it is, we tend to be inundated with toxins. So our liver gets this traffic jam in your liver. Okay, we've got gridlock, total gridlock, man, and there's not enough processing power in the liver to get all the toxins through in time. Now, your body cannot have these toxins just floating around, bouncing around, causing damage. So he goes, oh my God, we've got to neutralize these toxins somehow. And then, in a place where they're safe, where they're not going to cause any damage. And then once the backlog is clear, we can release them and the liver can process them. So what does it do? It stores them in fat. So your fat is actually a storage device for these toxins, which is why often if you lose weight very, very quickly in an uncontrolled manner, you feel like death warmed up because you've just suddenly released all these toxins. You haven't focused on health. You haven't focused on the liver, on cleaning the liver up. So the liver's still got a backlog, but now your body's being forced to get rid of fat because you're in a calorie deficit. And oh my God, the whole thing just goes to hell and you feel awful. And it's actually doing you damage because you've got these toxins bouncing around. Whereas if you focused on health, if you focused on getting the liver functioning 100% perfect, clearing this backlog out, not adding more toxins into the system, then when it comes time to ditch the fat, and your body ditches fat at a natural, controlled rate. It says, okay, cool. We've got space to process these toxins now. The liver's cool. We haven't got a backlog anymore. So let's start ditching the fat naturally. And you don't feel like shit. You feel great because your liver's suddenly working great. Your body's thinking, okay, we're in this land of plenty. We can get rid of the fat. We don't need it anymore. The toxins are being processed. It's all awesome. And you're looking and feeling 10 times better. So again, this is another reason why don't focus just on weight loss because you're probably going to do yourself more harm than good. And it's not harm that can't be reversed, but who wants to feel like shit if you don't have to? Who wants to be hungry if you don't have to be hungry? So again, if you want to know more, I say the first place I would start is this 3-day challenge down here. It's also that 3-day challenge is part of our online group. I'm in there every day doing more content like this, answering questions. So get involved down there as well. If you sign up for the 3-day challenge, you will automatically be signed up for our group as well. So head down there. I would love to speak to you in there. I would love to go into this deeper. And we do go into this deeper. We've been going to this deep this month. January, we've been focused on weight loss because January typically is the time when people want to lose weight after indulging a little bit too much over Christmas. So there's tons more resources in there. And I say I'm in there every day, so you get to chat to me personally, which may be a good thing, maybe not, depending on your opinion of me. but I'll be in there giving it my 10 cents anyway and all that other stuff. And it'd be great to talk to you on the inside, get to know you guys a bit better. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I will speak to you very soon. And ciao for now. Hope to speak to you in the group.